And maybe he's trying to rush to Hydras, but he didn't even get a Hydralisk den last game. He opted for Roach Speed and +1 Missile. I wonder if he's just got to go a 2-base play, early Ling Aggression, something of the sort, to deal with PiLiPiLi.
Yeah, and that might be the answer. Central Protocol, it's an interesting map, especially depending on what spawn position you get. If you're pretty close by, there's a chance you can take down those rocks, you can drop. There's some interesting stuff you can do on this map for sure.
Central Protocol I love because it requires you to play uniquely into the map, not an overall meta, but exactly to how the map is, and learn your own meta for the map. Would you take us in, Koshkii, for the first introduction, the bottom left?
We have our green Protoss, Psystorm Gaming's PiLiPiLi.
And of course, his opponent, currently down a 0-1 in this best of 3. It is the purple Zerg player, SoulKhan.
So, interesting note, you know, the spawn positions, they're horizontal again, and this is pretty close to be to your opponent on this map. And you know, right away SoulKhan is going to see that he is very close here to Pili.
Now, it is very close by air, but it's a little bit counterintuitive because you have to take down the rocks and debris to get really close to your opponent, or you have to go all the way through the middle of the map. It is quite favored by air, and our lovely observer Feardragon has shown us it's a quite long way to get to the enemy base. It's not as close as it looks, but still, it's pretty darn close, especially something like Sharkflot Immortal. We can get rid of the debris a lot. However, Koshkii, PiLiPiLi is going to go blink. Let's just say it. Get it out of the way. Going to go blink, period.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all to see blink here. We've got 2 gates to start off and then a Cyber Core, so maybe we'll have some Adept pressure to start this off here from PiLiPiLi.
I'd like that in from game 1. I don't think there's a lot that PiLiPiLi can transfer into this next game just because of the nature of the map architecture. There's the third base, and sorry, it's a little too far away. You can't have a third base. I don't think that going a lot of early Adept pressure would be wise, only because I believe that SoulKhan would be prepped for it. SoulKhan is going Hatch Gas Pool. But we'll see what his decision is. Again, it's mainly in his ballpark to decide what he wants to play, while PiLiPiLi, I'm doing this build no matter what. It seems to work quite well. Let's do it. Which is Blink Stalker.
Yeah, and we are now getting speed out from SoulKhan at the moment. He is getting more lings, not going for that 3 hatch before pool, but opting for, you know, a few extra lings. He will be able to scout and poke a little bit with those as well. PiLiPiLi, his Adepts are just about to finish. Might get some work done, but Queens are almost finished too, so I'm not sure how much Pili will be able to pick off here.
Especially with 6 lings out, you can get 4 lings, can defend if you're feeling pretty confident, but the 6 ling is pretty much the I'm going to completely push you back anyways. Adepts shitting across the map, but with Queens out, SoulKhan should be relatively okay. He's got enough defenses back at home. He even started a Spine in his natural just in case there was more Adepts than he thought, but at the point right now, he's completely fine. Ling's going to go for a surround, and I think they should just pull back and provide a buffer between the Queen and the Adept in these engagements.
Yeah, and when the lings are on creep, it's going to be a lot harder for those Adepts to kite them. So the Adepts making sure they do not step on that. And now we do have the Twilight Council for PiLiPiLi. It is in production, so we may very well see Blink again.
And SoulKhan, is almost going to get a surround. I will note that in the main, SoulKhan has only got 1 guy in gas, so I'm a little unsure where he's going with this. Maybe he's going to do a big speedling all, and he could do other things, but now the Adepts are in the main base, focusing down drones. There is 1 Queen here. The Lings are going to be able to get a surround. However, the Adepts put themselves into a great position. They were in a good position in the mineral line, but now not quite as much. They're going to eventually be taken out only after killing 7 workers. Even with a failed Adept attack, you can pick up a total of 7 workers, but SoulKhan taking a quick 3rd hatch off the back of this, basically just making sure that he can defend the early game. Yet we see our big deviation with that close spawn position. I think this is the first time we're going to see PiLiPiLi go for the Warp Prism Adept drop with Resonating Glaives on the way.
And that Adept drop can get to SoulKhan's main pretty quick. So this is a pretty smart idea here from PiLiPiLi. And Resonating Glaives, you know, as we said before, it doesn't take too long to complete, and it's relatively cheap. So it's a very strong upgrade. That makes the Adept's attack speed increase by 45%. So it's very, very powerful.
And they will be able to hold these rocks places quite easily with the Lings, focusing them down. Mothership Core boxes it out. I'm curious with PiLiPiLi. I guess he's just going to go for the 2-base all-in. You can take a 3rd base on this map. And by the way, what I was mentioning before with the map architecture of even the spawn positions of whether it's horizontal, cross spawns, or vertical, you have completely different games. In the vertical spawn positions, you often take that gold and you really can get a starting economy as Zerg, but not so much in the horizontal. It's such a funny map in that way.
More adepts now moving out. The adept upgrade getting very close to finishing. SoulKhan will see these adepts with his tower, will kind of understand now that something fishy has started. The DT shrine also following this up. So we do have spine crawlers being made too. So yeah, SoulKhan realizes that things are about to get pretty scary.
DTs are being used more and more in the meta. It's always, you know it's good, something you can't see and that kills you. Roaches are finally out. We have 16 more Lings. Melee's on the way for those Lings, so we're not going to see SoulKhan commit into the Roaches, but he needs something to actually be able to do damage on these adepts. At this number, they will finally be killed, yet they did force out a decent amount of Lings and Roaches in there, not allowing SoulKhan to completely drone up his 3rd.
And Adept's doing a lot of damage here in the main as well. However, the Spinecrawler doing a pretty good job at shutting down some of these Adepts as well. With the Roaches now, the Adepts are forced back a little bit, at least for the time being.
Looks like SoulKhan will be going Roach Ravager, and now that I think about it, I think going +1 melee for the Lings is quite strong, just because if you think about it, if you get +1 missile for Roaches, it's not incredibly good, and the Protoss isn't going to get +1 armor for them to kind of cancel out in that way. I think overall the Lings are a good choice. We're seeing more and more players maybe opt for that in PvZ. It's just one of the ways you can defend these drops. But now SoulKhan has to deal with 2 drops at the same time, one at his 3rd and a drop on his main. Warp's gonna get on out of here, but that 3rd is still not mining. It's just a big weight around SoulKhan's neck.
Yeah, and the 3rd it was getting a little close to low, but now SoulKhan has managed to at least keep it alive. It is at least providing some of the extra larva at this point.
Even though PiLiPiLi is running circles around SoulKhan, you gotta remember he's not been able to secure a 3rd base at all, and he's not actually getting a ton of economic damage done. He has killed a total of 17 workers, but both players on relatively the same economies. As you just saw, there's creep at each of the 3rd bases. PiLiPiLi is actually starting to starve out maybe a little bit. I'm slightly worried for him.
Yeah, the army supplies are 57 to 24 in favor of SoulKhan, but DTs are out now. They're going to take down this lair if there is no detection in this area soon, and that lair looks like it will fall. I do believe I saw an Overseer, though, for SoulKhan, so he does have the detection this time.
There's the Overseer morphing in just, I was going to say barely in time, but actually not barely in time. More Adepts in the 3rd base, and finally we are seeing that economic damage be achieved by PiLiPiLi. Off the back of this, he's been accruing Immortals in his natural base, and he's going to just make a big old Immortal push where SoulKhan's been relying off his Roaches, and he says, I counter Roaches in this way. Still got to remember, though, it's the 8-minute and 1-second mark, and PiLiPiLi does not have a 3rd. He's going to start mining out his main just a little bit, Koshkii. Where do you think he goes from here? Is it just going to end it right now?
You know, I saw him getting Immortals. He might be doing an Immortal push with this now. We've got Immortals and DTs. We've got Archons morphing as well. Pili knows that he's done quite a bit of damage taking down the main base. He might just be looking to go for the kill now because he realizes, I can't come back with economy. Might want to go and just kind of take things now that he had a small advantage in taking out that main base. Looks like he is going to attack the rocks, though, to get into the main.
I like that gold. It's gutsy, but PiLiPiLi he's already here. No, kind of with a couple with corrosive biles. PiLiPiLi is basically, I'm already being aggressive. I'm not going to let you move out. I'm going to take that gold 3rd base. And now, though, SoulKhan, he's got a nice choke point to defend. However, PiLiPiLi has no intention of moving up that way. He's simply opening up for the possibility. Yet I'd like for SoulKhan to move his Lings around, get us around on PiLiPiLi if he can make that happen. We'll see, though. Adepts won't shade right on top of the army. Currently, army supplied is 82 of SoulKhan to 75 of PiLiPiLi. But those Adepts are going to shred these Lings. Remember, the Lings are at +1. I'm not sure that's going to be enough. Koshkii, this is the big engagement.
Yeah, these Roaches are getting a very nice concave on these units, but the Adepts move in, get on top of the Roaches a little bit more, and there are actually 4 Immortals on the field. They are going to shred these Roaches now. They have not been taken down, and they will just eat these roaches alive. The Ravagers do their best. They try to get some nice biles there, but doesn't do much with the Immortal's shield there.
The entire time, roaches were trying to focus down those adepts, allowing the immortals, as you said, to just shred the roach forces. The third is out, and now SoulKhan is on one mining base. PiLiPiLi Kappa Koshkii.
The adepts now just taking care of these drones. Immortals, all the immortals still alive. And GG, well played. PiLiPiLi takes game 2.
2-0, PiLiPiLi moves on to the grand finals at a chance of $20 and 500 500 RSL points, which I think just still keeps him in number 1. I think he's won all the previous ones. Let me check that out, actually. I'm curious. So right now we are in the finals. Who do we have on the other side of the finals? That is the semifinals. Koshkii.
It looks like that is actually still going on. Looking at the bracket, the Siege Mode versus Volts match has not declared a winner yet, so we may have to wait to see who the winner of that one is.
So far, I think that PiLiPiLi has won every single RSL weekly.
I think in week 1, he came in second to Bly.
Well, Bly has not participated in every single other weekly, so
No.
I think PiLiPiLi is definitely number 1. He's
PiLiPiLi leads in RSL points for sure.
PiLiPiLi right there. $20 though, that will be his, I guess, spending money for the rest of the week. I don't know, for the rest of the week. I don't know how much PiLiPiLi spends. He's a skinny feller. We don't know if he eats that much food. Up next, I think we will have. Okay, wait. Let me go to the bracket.
Yeah, I'm looking at I'm like refreshing the bracket a lot.
Siege Mode beat Game Time. Volts went. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Siege Mode versus PiLiPiLi. That's what my mind says, but my heart wants Volts versus PiLiPiLi.
You know, it's pretty impressive that Siege. You know, I'm not saying impressive for Siege Mode, but very impressive to beat Game Time. So it lets me know that Siege Mode, he's definitely a very good player.
We're going to go to a short break, though. Up next, it's going to be PiLiPiLi in the finals versus either Siege Mode or Volts, who are currently playing out a best-of-3 in the semis. That is Koshkii. Koshkii, how can they check you out and follow you?
You can find me on Twitch at KoshkiiSC, and that's also my Twitter handle, so works pretty well like that.
And I am DrennoC everywhere, but know who you should follow, guys. You know who you should pay attention to, of course, is Feardragon. He's our observer in production at the moment at Feardragon64. The handle, let's just be honest, he made that when he was like 5 or like 10, whatever. I'm going to be Feardragon64. That sounds cool. Whatever, XX Feardragon64. But no, check him out. Feardragon64 on Twitter. He's an awesome guy, does a lot of production, and puts on a lot of stuff for the SC2 community, so definitely give him a high five in chat. Thank him for all that he's doing. Guys, we'll see you after this short break. After that, we're going to have PiLiPiLi versus either Volts or Siege Mode in the RSL Week 5 Grand Finals.